and you've been, I mean, I feel like I've seen your name and semi-interact with you for a few years minimum. It's been a while. What have you seen in the shift? Because I'll give you my uh, personal anecdote of what I've been seeing. And early VR, I think was much more hardcore, and that might be why people didn't make easy games like this. And I've seen, of course, a shift, mostly due to the Oculus Quest, that the VR gamer is becoming more and more casual. I don't know if that's just what I've seen. What have you seen from the general audience on how your game's evolved and how people have come into the space and probably given you their thoughts as well? Everyone's very vocal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you describe it like that because that's pretty much exactly how you can see the progression of our games too. If you look at Star Blazer, a title that we're very passionate about and have future plans for, but it's where we started. It's a real-time strategy game that takes place in space. We go the full gamut. There's competitive multiplayer, both matchmaking as well as you can join up with a friend. And originally, when we got into VR, we were like, this is the type of game we want to play. This is what we want to make. There's not a lot of content out there like it. And we'd heard from lots of sources, a lot of these other big companies and headset manufacturers like, yeah, strategy and, in-depth VR experiences. That's what people want. Well, that's a lie. That's not what they want. What it seems like, in actuality, there's a huge passion for these short-lived jump-in, jump-out experiences. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's part of the fun is, you jump into VR and you enjoy a short experience and takes you away for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, however long you play. But we just didn't see a huge appetite for people that wanted to learn complex controls or gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And VR, for developers, it's a rough space because people don't want to learn controls. They don't. Like, if you hand them an indie game on any other platform, PS or Xbox or something like that, they would expect a learning curve, like if it's a strategy game or something like that. But in VR, they're like, I just want to point and click. Why is it not working? And so we evolved our strategy to even taking Star Blazer and saying, all right, let's remove all buttons. Let's make it so you can play the entire game with a single button press. Not taking away the strategy elements, but taking away the control mechanics. And so you can see that transformation of Star Blazer trying to lend itself to easier interactions, but then later Virus Popper, very simple rail game, almost need no button presses, and then Space Slurpies, again, Snake follows your hand, so very few button presses, simplified menu system, trying to move towards very accessible types of games. And so, yeah, I agree. That kind of transition and settling out over these experiences, we've lived it.
Do you think, going into the psyche of that, and I don't think there's there is no true answer, but in your opinion, the shift from being okay with the most complex, blown to hell game on the PC that someone just will pick up and dig through, like Valheim might be a good example, extremely intricate, but tons of people are more than willing to do it. With VR, your experience has been, no, they don't want the intricacies. There's probably a billion reasons, but in your opinion, where is that coming from? Is it just something new that they want to ease into, or what do you think is the main reason?
I think there's three reasons I see. And I think there's solid reasons to talk about if you don't mind me hitting all three.
No,
is because we've thought a lot about this because, again, we've lived it. I'd say one reason is VR is a new medium that's not just filled with gamers. If you look at VR, we have all types of people jumping in on it. We've got, new technology enthusiasts. We've got artists. We've got other content creators that aren't your traditional gamers. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great thing. I think it's fantastic. And one of the things that makes the VR space special is how diversified of community you have. But that means they also don't have this history of, I am used to learning 10 buttons and controls and menu systems because I play games all the time, right? They're not coming from that background. So I think that's one thing. The second thing is VR can be overwhelming if we have all these new people, and even if you're taking a gamer who's used to 2D experiences and move them into VR, it's a lot of sensory information. You put a headset on people, and we've been to conventions and seen it, the first thing they do is just look around. Yep. They don't want to interact because they're just trying to absorb all the information. So then you start layering in game mechanics, it's a lot for the mind to take in, more than even a 2D game where it's just there in front of you. And then the third thing is, I think VR lends itself to such natural interactions that people don't want to press buttons. You know, they want to reach out and touch things. They want their movements to be the controls. And so I felt this pretty intensely when I tried Skyrim for VR on PlayStation. I didn't enjoy it because I was trying to find buttons, but really I just want to, pull back the bow and use my hands for magic. Like, that's the cool stuff, not trying to figure out how to heal myself with a button press. And so I think those are the three reasons I see it. Why, and they're not really bad reasons if you think about it. It's just our understanding as developers of the medium, and then like how we need to rebuild our content for the medium.
Is that something that's going to shift closer and closer to the way we've always played games, or do you think VR, even as it evolves, will always slightly stay askew outside of that normalcy that we've always played games in?
I think it needs to stay outside. I think the worst VR games are the 2D games that they ported over, that they didn't spend a lot of time rethinking the controls, and they just overlay some buttons or menu systems on top of it. I think they're sloppy, and I don't think they're the right experience people want. I think the experiences in VR that really shine are the ones where your movements and the way you interact with the space feel natural. And so you need to think about them separately when it comes to development.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, Beat Saber, super hot. Are there even buttons?
Movement.
Like,
nope.
Like, there's not even really buttons for the most part.
Fruit Ninja, like all of, I'd say, the stellar VR experience, Space Slurpies, they're about movement. They're not about buttons.
Hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips, or catch the debates and Fireside Chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.